Hey guys, I'm Prateek. I'm not a fitness guru, an influencer, or a productivity geek. I'm just an ordinary guy trying to create an extraordinary life. How? By implementing lessons from powerful books. So that's what this channel is all about, real life action. No theory, no fluff, just straight up action packed advice that can improve your life. And the first book that I'm going to implement is The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Why? Well, if I can master my mornings, I can master my days. And if I can master my days, I can master my life. At least that's what the book says. So let's get into it and see if it's actually true. You ever have a moment where you know what you need to do, but you freeze? That was me twice. Twice in my life, I was offered startup funding. Twice, I said no. I told everyone that I wanted control, founder first, and not investor first. Sounds good, right? But the truth is, somewhere deep down, I was a little scared. Because real growth, it demands that you become someone new. And to do that, you have to let go of the version of you that kept you safe. And that, my friend, is the hardest part of self-improvement. Not the habits, not the waking up early. It's the part where you outgrow your old self before anybody else claps for you. And today's workout, it wasn't about strength, it was about honesty. So let's talk about it. I woke up at 4:45 a.m., no grogginess, no hesitation, good clarity. Freshened up, had some lemon honey water, same ritual, and then straight to the gazebo. Summer started to come in now, so the sun's rising earlier. I just started my workout with a mobility warm up to loosen up after the night's sleep, and then I moved on to the dynamic warm up. I can barely call it a warm up anymore, to be honest. I start sweating by the end of each of these warm ups. 10 lunge rotates, 12 cat camel, 10 down dog to cobra, 10 table twists, 10 hip raises, 12 squat reverse lunges, 12 supermen. And once I was done with this, I moved on to some strength work. Obviously, I'm using most of my body weight for this. So I started off with 20 archer push-ups, which is kind of a progression exercise towards one-arm push-ups. I'm a long way away from being able to do one-arm push-ups, but yes, I'm getting there. Then I did 30 dumbbell cleans. Now, the first 20 are still manageable, but the last 10, they kind of set my thighs on fire. But I did it, no sloppy form, and I did it well. Then came interval training, 2 rounds of these, and these were brutal. Right? So for the first round consisted of 5 sets of the following exercises: 10 dumbbell squats, 20 side lunges, and 10 knee wipers. Now, if you look at these exercises by themselves, they are not tough. But the short rest times were the killer. I had only 15 seconds of rest between each of these sets. That was the most difficult part. Then came round 2, which was even more intense because it had escalating plank sets. So the first set was 1 minute plank hold, 10 plank switches, and 10 squats. Second set was exactly double: 2 minute plank hold, 20 switches, and 20 squats. And set 3 was triple. So 3 minute plank hold, 30 switches, and 30 squats, with just 30 seconds of rest between each of these. So, first round, I held the plank for a full 60 seconds. That was no problem. Second round, I could go up to 90 seconds out of 120 that I was supposed to do. Third round, I could do only 90 before my arms completely gave up. But I'll tell you the truth. I really felt like skipping the last set. And I could have. No one could have known. But to be honest, I would have known myself. So I got back into position for that one last round. My elbows were raw, that mat was rough, the sweat made it worse, but I still finished it. And I wrapped it up with an active cool down and ended it with the chakrasana. My body was wrecked, but my mind today was stronger and sharper. Moving on to the second segment of the day, reflect. And meditation today was mindfulness. No stress, no chaos, just presence. And here's something that crossed my mind. While I was meditating, I thought, most men aren't afraid of pain. What we are really afraid of is being seen in pain. Because right since childhood, we're told to be tough. We're told and taught to keep moving, to never let the cracks show. But the truth is that growth isn't just painful, it's lonely. Because when you grow, you start losing people. The ones who are comfortable with the old you, the ones who don't understand why you're pushing so hard, the ones who tell you you've changed. And they're right, you have. I sat with that thought and wondered, what would it feel like when I would be completely out of my comfort zone? To be honest, I have started to step out of it, but I'm not completely out of it. And with that thought, I moved on to journaling. My gratitude list today was very simple. The first point on it, as usual, was waking up, because that is never guaranteed. This life was my second point, and the fact that I get to live it. And today, fortunately, I had no negatives, nothing to rant about. For me, personally, that's a win. And the last segment of the day today is grow. So I'm back to the 5 a.m. club, and today one unique concept stood out. It's called transient hypofrontality. Now, don't get worried. I know it sounds complicated, but let me break it down. It's easy. So, your brain has a boss. It's the part of your brain that thinks, plans, analyzes everything, right? But when you're fully in the zone, doing an activity you like, whether that's lifting weights, running, or creating content, or anything of that sort, that boss, the boss of your brain, that boss takes a back seat. Now, this back seat is called transient hypofrontality. What happens is it's the thinking part of your brain shuts off. Your instincts take over, your muscle memory takes place. No doubts, no overthinking, just pure flow. That's why some of your best ideas hit you in the shower. That's why athletes, artists, and top performers talk about being in the zone. And you know what the best part is? You can train your brain to enter this state at any point in time. Obviously, it takes a few years to get to that state, but you still can do it. And you know how? Intense focus, physical movement, and letting go of things. So, no distractions to ensure that you're fully focused. Exercise so that your natural flow steps in. And stop trying to control everything so that letting go becomes easy. When you learn to master all of this, you truly become unstoppable. So day 10 is finally locked in. And today's biggest lesson? Well, growth isn't just painful, it's lonely, number one. And the second is, real challenge isn't pushing forward, it's letting go. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, train your mind to enter flow state. Cut out distractions, move your body, and trust yourself. Because when you stop overthinking, you start winning. If you are in, drop a quick hello in the comments. And if you're serious about becoming your best self, subscribe. Because tomorrow at 5 a.m., we go again.